When I'm drunk, I'm Gabriel. Joey Crown lives as a contradiction wrapped in brass. His name speaks of royalty, yet he wanders through alleys pawning his inheritance for bottles that promise silence. A crown is never power, only a symbol of it, and Joey spends his life chasing what was already given at birth. He wants the world to crown him, to validate him, to declare him somebody. But joy itself is the crown, and Joey's mistake is forgetting that joy needs no coronation. A Course in Miracles says we are wholly worthy of every thought of love because that worth is not earned. Joey thinks he is nothing, and so he begs for something. The horn at his side is more than an instrument. It is his voice, the extension of spirit itself. When he pawns it, he imagines he has lost himself, but thoughts do not leave their source. The pawn shop is only the ego's market, whispering, "Give me your birthright and I'll hand you hooch." The truck hits him and Joey mutters, "I'm dead, that's it." For the first time he laughs. He feels light because the story has dropped. Death seems like relief because the narrative of failure has no pages left to turn. The mirror shows no reflection, but that is mercy, not terror. The ego self that never lived is gone, and silence opens like a window. Yet Gabriel appears, gentle as a stranger named Gabe, saying, "You're not dead, Joey. They are." The crowds who march through routine, deaf to beauty, blind to music, they are the ghosts. The living who cannot hear a trumpet of joy are already dead, walking sepulchres with busy schedules. Joey, in his so-called death, is closer to life than they are. This is the zone's reversal, the same correction the Course makes. The world's life is death, and what the world calls death is only the end of a story. Then Joey makes his strangest confession, a paradox wrapped in sorrow. When I'm drunk, I'm Gabriel. He thinks it is alcohol that turns cracked pipes into symphonies. But what he names drunk is really the holy instant, the brief collapse of ego chatter. In those moments the walls vanish, the clock is forgotten, and music pours out like jewels. That is not the bottle. That is what happens when the insane mind is dropped, when the past and future pack up their luggage and hide in the closet until they are called again. Drunk, in this sense, is not intoxication with chemicals, but intoxication with presence. To be drunk is to be out of the insane mind and into the timeless now. It is not an escape from reality, but the uncovering of it. The ego twists this into addiction, but Joey's words reveal the truth. When the watcher is gone, the horn plays itself. And in that instant, Gabriel speaks. The barren voice of the past shows up too, in the figure of Baron. Play like you used to, he tempts, like memory begging to be resurrected. But the past is barren. Yesterday cannot nourish. Joey's honesty cuts through. He sold his inheritance for bad hooch and got the crummy end of the stick. That is the bargain of the ego thought system every time. Yet Gabriel answers differently. You're in limbo, Joey, between the real and the shadow. Which do you prefer? Choice returns, and with it the power to remember. Joey recalls the sweetness, the friendships, the music that made faces wet with tears of joy. Forgetfulness is the true death, and remembering is resurrection. Gabe's words seal it. Don't waste it. You've got a talent to make people laugh, cry, dance, live with it. So Joey chooses. He buys back the horn as if it had ever left him. He meets Nan, undefined and new, a symbol of nourishment and fresh beginning. The city has not changed. Dirty walls and cracked pipes still remain, but the one who looks has changed instruments. Judgment is laid aside, and the horn of joy is lifted again. The crown he sought from clubs and critics was never missing. The coronation happened the moment joy was created. The underground trumpet plays on rooftops, in kitchens, in alleys, wherever honesty is breathed into brass. Joey did not need to die to find it. He only needed to get drunk in the right way, out of his insane mind, into the present where Gabriel is waiting. That is the secret Serling wrote in invisible ink. When I'm drunk, I'm Gabriel. Submitted for your approval, Joey Crown, late of pawn shops and cracked pipes, who stepped into the street and into the Twilight Zone. There he discovered a peculiar intoxication, not from bottles but from forgetting the lies of the past and future. He called it drunkenness. We might call it presence. In that state he was no longer a ghost but Gabriel with a horn of light. He returned to find his city unchanged, yet filled with music he thought he had pawned away. In the Twilight Zone, the crown was never lost, the trumpet was never sold, and death itself turned out to be nothing more than the pause between notes.